Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today and talk about champion programs. So let me start with a question. How many of you work with a developer community? So happy. So first, let me define what a champion is. Because you probably don't have a program right now, but you know what are your champions, right? What are your super users, your most fans? So champions are your most loyal community members. They are very helpful, they are passionate, and they will advocate for you in times of need. Actually, this guy is one of our MVPs, and she tattooed our logo on his arm. Loyalty, yes. So a program, so getting your champions into a program is a way to formalize it. So put these people and make it to be your extended team. Because you probably have a small team, right? Full-time dedicated to your community, but you want to expand, you want to scale. And VP programs, ambassador programs, or champion programs are a great way to expand your team. Okay? So back 3 years ago, we have some problems to solve. We have a small team, and our community, by the way, is a support community mainly. We have our product that allows developers to develop mobile apps and web apps. And people go online reaching for help. So how can I do this with OutSystems? So I have this bug. How can I help? Anyone can help me? So it was mainly focused on getting these people to be more present, more active online, and help newbies with development questions. Another thing was people didn't know about your product. So we wanted to create awareness. So, and you know, awareness for developers is a tricky thing to achieve because how do you marketing for developers? Exactly, you don't. So the best way to marketing for developers is to get people they trust. And speaking about the product, using the product and being successful with the product, okay? Another thing was feedback. So we build our product based on the feedback we get from the field. So having this close connection from connecting our community members with the product team in a more controlled way, you know, will bring advantages on the way the product evolves. So these were basically the opportunities that we have identified at that time. Okay, so we define our goals. So when when preparing to launch this, we were defining our goals, and these were mainly the main goals that we defined. So make sure all the questions were answered by these champions, because by the time we need to rely on internal teams, I was there replying questions too, but anytime I need help from a specific area of the product, I need, oh, can you please help? Kind of a best effort thing, so it was kind of hard. Create an awareness through content, okay, and events. It was the time that we started thinking about going offline, you know. David yesterday mentioned the importance of in-person events, and we wanted to go offline too and connect with our community. We have this challenge because we were in Portugal, and Portugal is this tiny country across the ocean, and our developers were all over the world. So we wanted to leverage these people and create content that could create awareness too. Another one is feedback for our product, like I mentioned, and another one, the local communities, okay? So this was one of the slides that we presented to our MVP. So we defined the action plan, so the areas where these champions were working. We defined the solution, which basically was the champion program, the opportunities addressing, and then how these would map with the business goals, right? And it was mainly about NPS for the existing customers and ARR. Because what we started to get when we launched this was we started to get stories about prospects that went to our website, corporate website, and then they went to our community, they start asking questions, getting replies, oh, this is a really helpful community. We like this. We like the product. We are going to buy. Check. So I will go to these 5 steps and give you a bit more details on my experience and what it worked for us. So starting where to focus. This is why you need to ask yourself, what problems do you want to solve? Because that will depend on your community and your scenario. Okay? I will give you a few examples. Mainly, the problems that you want to solve has to do with these 4 areas. And you may want to put your energy or focus on one of these and also keep other ones going, right? So example number 1. This was our example, by the way. So you have a mature product and a growing community. So your community is already in good shape. So what do you want to do? You want to promote education. You get to enable your developers to be more productive with your product. Okay, so you want to create all this program around education. That's what we did, right? Example number 2. So you have a big community, a mature product. So probably you want to invest more in retention. That's why you need to go with more recognition programs, creating reputation, and make people to stay in your community. So if you are new, so you have a new product, you have a forming community, so your community is just starting, where do you want to invest? Mainly in awareness, right? You want to generate brand awareness, you want to bring people to the community, you want to create word of mouth so that people come and stay. So how do you launch this? So first step I already told you, it was about defining well your goals that map with your business goals or your company goals. And then you just need to go to our community, look into your members, your super users, and just formalize it. So give him a framework, an organized framework for them to keep doing what they are already doing. Okay? So it's about 4 very important things. So recognize, activate, communicate, and nurture. So these 4 things, I will explain you a bit better, are key for you to maintain and keep growing your MVP program and your community. Okay? So recognize. Yesterday it was a talk here, very interesting because the speaker said that if you give someone a badge, a very exclusive badge, they will be more engaged and they will be participating because they will take this, this badge, this is my job now. I should help other folks. So first step, recognize them. So give them special moderator status on your online community if that's the case. Give them exclusive badges and make these people stand up from your community. So those are the guys. So those are the guys that are influencers and experts in your community. Another thing is activation. What did this mean? So this is a really tricky word because in our case, we define 4 areas of contribution. But this is a very specific case, but I will tell you a bit more about it. So Q&A on forums was one area of contribution. Then content or blogs was a different area of contribution. Then we have this code repository where people can contribute open source. That is another area of contribution. And there is user groups, so event organizers. And the way we are managing this is we have this pool, so we have these people, this group of people, and each individual one has a different responsibility. So you have a group that is dedicated to forums, a group that is dedicated to write blogs, a group that is dedicated to organize events, and another one to create code. Of course, some of them contribute on all these areas, okay? But yeah, this is the way we divide it. The thing is, how can you manage them in order to have a bigger impact? For example, if we need documentation or if we identify there is a content gap on our community, so we ask them, can you write a blog post about this? Maybe you want to share your experience with this to inspire other people to come to the community and to adopt this product. That is what we call activation. Communication, very important for everything, right? And the way we do communication is I regularly communicate to them the impact of their work. So on a monthly basis, I send them a report. So this is what you did. This is what the group did. So you are doing a great job. Thank you for helping our community. So we communicate the results. We also do checkpoints, you know. So it's about also to communicate the results, but it's kind of formalized in sessions. So I do one-on-ones with all of them. So part of my job, you know, is managing people right now. But yeah, I'm engaging with the community through them. So because I'm the one that is kind of guiding them on the best ways to help the community. So communication is also very important. Last but not least, nurture. And what is the best way to nurture those people? Is to get them into a specific channel, okay, very private. It can be a private forum. Alessio was telling me that he have a private forum for their ambassadors. Like, this is arriving. In our case, we created a Slack workspace when we have all the MVPs. And guess what? Another way to nurture them is to give them what they want. In our case, what they want is reputation and access to internal people that build our product. So they want to have access, direct access to our engineers, the engineers that build our product, and they want to take a part of the decision. So they want to influence the direction of our product. So we have this private channel where they can connect with me, with my team, and all the engineers behind the product management also. So we kind of created this small community inside our community, you know, because you need to plant in order to be able to harvest, right? So this is the way we plant. We work with them. And swag. Everyone loves swag, right? So as MVPs, they have access to exclusive swag. They adore it, and they like to show up on events. This is my MVP swag. Exclusive T-shirt. So some tips and tools basically are some tools that I use on my daily basis. Of course, to launch this, we also created the benefits, the goals of the product, a nomination process, so, you know, to keep the things going. So, and the recruitment process, it takes a lot of my time right now, because what we do is we have this nomination, everyone can apply, we evaluate their contributions and decide if they enter or not, but we also want to, you know, to get other regions, to get a more diverse group. So part of my job is identify potential candidates, go to them and groom them, and make sure they are ready. So guide them to mentor them so that they are ready to enter the program. So during this process of nurture the candidates, we exchange a lot of emails. So I have these emails, these responses already in a template that I can modify to its specific situation to make it easier. Another thing is very important for a non-native English speaker is Grammarly for life. It helps a lot. Another thing that is very helpful for me is the integration between Asana and Slack, because, you know, champions are giving feedback and asking to address and, you know, asking things all the time. So what I do is, because in that moment I cannot address them, I automatically create a task for me in Asana so that I can, you know, visit later. This is what I have to do, and the follow-ups that I need to do. So some calendar or email hacks. Calendly. So Calendly, I use Calendly to share my agenda with them. Also Gmail has this functionality. So you can share your slots, so the slots that you have for candidates and the slots that you have for one-on-ones with your champions, okay? Another thing that I learned was if something that you need to do, so something that is going to happen, please book it on your calendar. Imagine that you need to work on a playbook. Imagine that you need to work on your code of conduct. So book it on your calendar to make sure that in that slot you are really focused on this. Okay. Another thing is Boomerang. Have you heard about Boomerang? Yeah. Do you use it? It's awesome, right? Thank you, Jan, for introducing Boomerang. Because all the follow-ups that I needed to do were in my head. And Boomerang helps a lot on, oh, this person didn't reply for 5 years, for 5 days. Maybe you want... If it is for 5 years, doesn't matter, right? So yeah, but for 5 days, maybe you should reach out to him. Another thing is Mixmax. Mixmax allow you to know if the person opened or not the email, because depending on that, you may want to do a follow-up. Productivity and control. So I use Rescue Time. Do you know Rescue Time? To give me the reports about how I'm spending my time. Because when you have this job of nurturing these champions, you may end by spending a lot of time in engagement. And you don't want that, right? Because you want to, well, you have the reports that you need to fill in to show your business that your champion program is the best. Also, I use Momentum. That really helped me to define my goal for the day and my to-dos for that day. And they have these beautiful pictures that inspire me to do my job well. Okay, so top challenge. Not all roses, you know. When you are dealing with people, there are some challenges, right? And this is, like I said, is a small community inside a bigger community. And I decided to highlight top 4 challenges when managing a champion program. So, first one, I'm not the cool kid anymore. So when they enter the program, when they become official champion or MVP or ambassador, they say, oh, I want to do a lot of stuff, I have so much energy. But then when the times pass by, they start to feel, and when they see other people coming aboard, they feel, oh, I'm not the cool kid anymore. So these guys are in the spotlight right now, so I'm the older one. And the way to deal with this is give them time. Okay, this takes time for them to accept probably new people in the team. And also make it clear or reinforce this vision. This is not about their losing their visibility. This is about them get more people aboard to help them and let them focus maybe in other areas of contribution. So another thing that is a challenge is finding the right balance between give and take. Because we are managing this, so you are getting a lot of good results from your program, but sometimes you may end it by asking too much from your champions, right? Because this is really organized, well organized. So, and because other people in your company have access to these persons, to these people, they will be asking things from them. They will be asking feedback. They will be asking for them to test the high fidelity mockups probably. So finding the right balance. Toxic behaviors. So it happens, right? It happens in all communities. Because people are so passionate about your product, it means that they really care, but they can get very angry when, for example, their feedback is not well addressed. Or when we launch a new feature, oh my God, why did you decide to launch this new feature? Because they don't like it. So for this, to address this, we launch a code of conduct that at least gives them a baseline on how should they behave. And again, we get into tough conversations with them. And if that is the case, there is time for a breakup. This is not fun anymore. So when they start doing this in a very formalized way, they'd start seeing this like more work rather than, this is what I'm giving back to the community. Because when these people started, they are active just because they like to be active in the community. And getting them into a champion program, we are introducing a new extrinsic type of motivation, right? Because we are changing titles with their work. So this kind of, they may ended up this feeling like work. The way to avoid this is to get them involved in every decision you make for your program and the way you are managing the program, okay? So, how to show return of investment? Really hard question. So, first, you need to make sure that you are measuring things, okay? There's a lot of things that you can measure. I will go very quickly to a few examples. For example, So first, you need to make sure that you are tracking volume and quality. Adoption educations, it can be replies on forums, solutions, it can be average time to get a reply, of course, from your MVPs or your champions, because you are measuring their work or their impact on the community. Awareness and education, it can be how many blogs did your champions publish in the last month or in the last quarter? It can be page views on these blogs. It can be, referrals, because if you educate them in the way that, okay, write this blog post, but put a link to our main page because you want people to go to our, want to generate traffic. So you can also measure that. Awareness education. They often talk in events, so developer events, they go there and talk about our product to evangelize other developers to adopt it. And a good way to measure them going to the event is the number of talks, the number of people they reach, and the satisfaction score on their talks. Another one is for the ones that are organizing user groups all over the world, how many user groups they have organized, how many attendees they got, and also the satisfaction score on those events. Social media, social shares and reshares, impressions, engagement, you all know this. But what is important? I won't do any math, okay, I'm not good at math, but a good starting point for you to show the ROI is look into those metrics, the ones that you are collecting, and ask yourself, what would be the costs from your support team or from your marketing team to achieve all of these guys and girls are doing, okay? So thank you for listening.